Hello, folks. It is Saturday, May 13. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon on the east coast of the United States. I'm going to take a quick look through the precious metals charts. Silver took a big hit on Thursday and Friday. I think it's a reaction to strength, a little rally in the US dollar. We'll look at the dollar charts as well, and let's jump right in. So gold in the monthly, still looking pretty good, although, now we've got two candles so far, and of course, in the monthly time frame, that candle is still being painted. We got about 2 weeks to go in this month. Right now, the combination of those two candles looks kind of toppy because we've got those upper wicks, which, suggestive of topping action, or can be. And we can see that we're pushing up into resistance. Got this pink Andrews pitchfork, and so we're dealing with the median line of that fork, and then we've got the lower median line of this. This is a shift pitchfork, so got some resistance from the forks, and then we're also at the upper bound of this pennant or flag pattern. Pushing into resistance from these prior highs as well. So, but positive indications, they're still here. I mean, we're on MACD is in bull mode, suggesting primary trend is to the upside, still on a buy signal. And if we zoom in here, MACD histogram is still strongly to the upside. So no hint from the histogram that upside momentum is waning. So gold in this time frame continues to look good, in my opinion. Here in the weekly, pretty much the same story. We're getting some toppy looking candles because of these upper wicks. But as I pointed out in the last video, if we look at this series of peaks, I'm hoping this isn't a peak, but I'm going to refer to it as a series of peaks. This behavior, to my eye, is clearly different than the behavior we got at these prior peaks. To me, this looks like gold just slowly dealing with resistance, grinding higher. And the fact that silver broke on Thursday and Friday and gold didn't, that's interesting to note. And again, we'll look at the silver charts here in a minute. As I pointed out, MACD, we're overbought based on MACD, from this prior high. So, when price was putting in this high, MACD reached this level, and then we got a correction in price. MACD worked off its overbought level. Now we're back up at that same level, MACD, and gold's trying to push beyond that level, but again, based on MACD, we are overbought. Energy is elevated, which suggests that price still has room to run to the upside if it wants to. I'll point out, and I think I did in the last video as well, this is essentially a $400 move that gold has made in, 7 or 8 months. And so that's a big move. It's reasonable for gold to take a rest. The only question is, what does that rest look like? Is it a sideways consolidation? And of course, here we're getting a sideways consolidation with an upward bias. Or do we need gold to get a pullback? Does gold need a 38% or 50% retracement before it's able to push any higher? And of course, we'll find out. Gold in the daily, and again, here in the daily time frame, gold, this is, I'd call it a sideways consolidation. Gold is just bumping along. Notice that it is staying above that 1990, 2000, above that level, as if that level has now become support. Now, we'll see whether that continues. keep in mind that it's not uncommon for the people who, whether you want to talk about management or manipulation, the people who have controlling interests in the precious metals markets, not uncommon for them to sell ridiculous amounts of gold and silver in the middle of Sunday night, which is the absolute lowest volume in any markets. And so, middle of the night Sunday, it's just not a good time to sell. And we can gain some information from that, because if you think about it, if you were motivated by profit, so for whatever reason you got a bunch of gold that you want to sell and your objective is to maximize your profit, you would sell into the highest volume available. And clearly the middle of Sunday night, that's the opposite. I mean, that's the lowest volume. So the people that sell in the middle of Sunday night clearly have, I'm not inside their heads, so I can't say clearly they have. It appears that they have an objective to break the price of gold rather than sell for a profit. And so anyway, I'm just heads up, we may see a smash Sunday night. And so, but for now, gold's doing quite well, certainly doing better than silver. And so let's move on to silver now. Silver in the monthly, really no change from, even with the big move on Thursday and Friday, not a significant change from the last time we looked at this chart. It still appears that that pink line there, silver broke above that level and is turning it into support. So, and we'll see, obviously, if that level continues to act as support or not. We've got some more support. The lower median line of this, I think that's a modified shift. Yeah, that's a modified shift pitchfork. Could get support at the lower median line of that fork. Notice back here we got multiple months where that level acted as support. So perhaps this median line will act as support if the horizontal support fails. So we'll see. MACD in bull mode, both indicator lines right at very close to the zero level. So I won't really call that in bull mode. It's it's in there. Currently on a buy signal. Yep, still remaining on a buy signal. And as I pointed out in gold, histogram has yet to weaken. So based on MACD histogram, Thursday and Friday action has not changed upside momentum. Momentum in silver remains to the upside in this time frame. Weekly time frame, this is where we start to see the correction. And of course, we got that big bar. Price has pulled down to the 10-week moving average and appeared to find a little bit of support there. That level is coincident with these prior highs, this prior high, and we could be getting some support at that horizontal level from the prior highs. Still on a buy signal in bull mode, energy elevated. Here we've got, the histograms. It looks like MACD could be rolling over, and histograms support that idea that momentum to the upside is waning in this time frame. In the daily time frame, this is where we can see. So there's big drop on Thursday. What did we lose? 4.8%, $1.23. So $1.23. That's a big move in silver. And of course, 4%. That's a big move in just about any market. So, and then so Thursday the drop found support at this horizontal level, and then bounced a little bit. And of course, coincident with, this is the lower median line of this Andrews pitchfork, so another support level. Then on Friday, silver dropped down and tested the 50-day moving average and got a little bit of a bounce there. You can see, let me zoom in there a little bit. You can see that we got a lower wick on this price bar, test of the 50-day, and then a bounce, and price is back up into that horizontal support. Well, it's a resistance zone. Haven't really tested it for support yet, other than on Thursday. Now, one of the questions when I'm looking at a chart like this, and was expecting or thinking that this horizontal support level would hold, but then price goes down and pushes through. The question in my mind is this a break of support, or is it just an overthrow to the downside? And what I would suggest, my thinking, when price gets this close to a significant indicator level, in this case it's the 50-day moving average, not surprising that price wants to go down and touch that level. And so I don't really consider this a failure of this support level. I look at it more as an overthrow, test 50-day moving average. Notice that it was a successful test. Price found support there and then moved higher during the rest of the trading session. So is that the extent of the correction that we're going to see in silver? Well, we'll find out. If gold takes a hit, silver could easily move lower in sympathy with gold. And like I said, middle of Sunday night, we may see both metals move lower. Mining stocks, really no change in the monthly there. Nothing significant in the weekly. Down week, would we lose 4.4% move to the downside? But I'm not really concerned about that action. It's a sideways consolidation, bouncing on support. Yeah, anyway, I'm not worried about that price action in the mining stocks, or this really a proxy for the mining stocks. It's not a good proxy. I acknowledge that. So mining stocks in the daily time frame, again, pushing up into this resistance level, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, dropping lower in sympathy with silver, I would assume. Let's keep rolling. Dollar, no real change in the monthly. That looks like a sideways consolidation. In the weekly, we start to see the rally or the bounce that the dollar staged last week. And so that's a impulsive bar to the upside. Notice that price closed essentially at the high of the week. And of course, that's a bullish indication, an indication of high energy, impulsive energy. Energy is low based on stochastics, and MACD remains in bear mode. I guess the question is, or not guess, the question is, will this move continue to the upside? And obviously we'll we'll see. Counter trend rallies tend to be quick. They happen quickly. They rise rapidly, and then they peter out and roll over. And so could well be that this is nothing more than a counter trend rally that will quickly end. And of course, we'll find out. Daily time frame, big moves Thursday, Friday, and of course, that corresponds with what we saw in silver. MACD on a buy signal, trying to move up into bull mode, currently still in bear mode. Energy is elevated. So the dollar does have energy to move to the upside if it wants to. It's pushing into resistance in this support resistance zone. Looks like we pushed through the 50-day moving average on Friday, and again, this is another impulsive price bar where price has closed, nearly at the high of the day. So bullish price action in the dollar. That's one of our headwinds. When the dollar's strong, the metals quite often are weak. The other headwind that the precious metals sometimes have to deal with is rising interest rates. And, it's the precious metals don't pay any interest. And so if you can go get, 4 or 5% interest buying treasuries, you might take that route instead of buying physical precious metals. So that's all I've got in this update. Just wanted to take a quick look at this correction. We'll see whether we're done with this correction. May find out as early as Sunday night, and I will talk to you soon, folks.